I'll be reacting to kids who got their parents arrested.
Hey everyone, this is Thier here, and in today's video, we're going to be going through the top 5 kids who got their parents arrested. And these kids, they either snitched on their parents, like told on them, told the police they were doing something or something like that, or they got in trouble and their parents had to take the blame or responsibility for them. And before we get into this video, if you guys are little pieces of shit or something like that, then make sure to leave a like on this video, and of course comment down below and tell me if you've ever gotten your parents in trouble for something. Tell me the story behind that as well, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel because that would really help out. But let's go and get into this top 5. In the number 5 spot, imagine having a child and having that child sell you out, get you arrested, and have that child being taken away by child social services. Well, that's what happened with this kid. He basically took his parents' weed to school to prove to the teachers that his parents had marijuana. Apparently in the school they were talking about marijuana and stuff like that, and this kid recognized that that was what his parents had and turned him in, and they obviously got arrested.
We know the name of the school where this happened, and we certainly know the name of the parents. We're keeping them from you, even though we hate to do that, but only for one reason. That is, police really want to protect the identity of this 9-year-old so the whole world doesn't know that he basically turned in his parents. One thing I can tell you, though, check this out right here. This is part of the DARE program that police here in Matthews do with 5th graders. This is a book that they give all the 5th graders. Well, they gave it to this 5th grader last week, and it was last week they were going over this lesson right here. It's all about marijuana and the dangers of it. Well, the lesson made such an impression on the 11-year-old that he literally brought marijuana cigarettes that his parents owned to school so he could turn them in. Did this take a lot of guts for this kid to do this?
Certainly.
Matthews police officer Stacey Terrell says this is an example of the DARE program working.
In this case, it happened to be taking place in the child's own home.
The DARE officer spends time teaching 5th graders at Matthews' 3 elementary schools, and he teaches the kids the dangers of drugs, tobacco, and alcohol. The section on marijuana obviously got the 11-year-old boy's attention.
Even if it's happening in their own home by their own parents, because of what we're teaching them, they understand that that's a dangerous situation. Knowing full well the seriousness of it, he still came forward and reported it to law enforcement.
Moving on to 4, this one's a bit misleading. It's more of like a dumb reason a parent got arrested type of thing. Granted, they wouldn't have gotten arrested if they didn't have a kid, so it is still kind of because of the kid, but it doesn't matter. It's more because of a complete and total douchebag asshole neighbor who pretty much called the cops because these kids were playing outside. These 2 kids, they were playing out on their scooters, and they weren't like super young kids, but I mean, they weren't super old either, but I think they were old enough to, you know, be out in the front yard. When the police showed up, they arrested her for child endangerment or something like that because the kids were outside alone. She said that she was outside on the front porch, something like that, watching them, and the neighbor just couldn't see her. But nonetheless, I just think this entire situation is ridiculous in the first place.
This LaPorte mom says she was arrested and forced to spend the night in jail, all because she let her kids play outside.
Orange jumpsuit, in a cell, slammed the door for 18 hours.
Tammy Cooper says her kids, ages 9 and 6, were riding their scooters around the cul-de-sac where they live while she sat in her front yard and watched from a few feet away. A little while later, she says, a LaPorte police officer pulled up.
I went out there to see what he was here for, and he says, "No, ma'am, we're here for you." And I said, "Oh, really? Why?" And that's when he proceeded to tell me that he had received a call from one of my neighbors that my kids were outside riding their scooters and supervised. Said, "Well, ma'am, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for child endangerment."
Cooper says the allegations are absurd, and she insists her kids were never alone.
No, I was out there the entire time.
The charges were eventually dropped, but Cooper says the experience was humiliating and has now filed a lawsuit against the City of LaPorte Police Department, the arresting officer, and her neighbor, who reportedly made the call to police. We tried speaking to her.
You have no comment?
No, thank you.
Okay.
This stay-at-home mom says her kids are her life.
Everything that I do revolves around my children.
And now she wants justice.
I'm going to have to stop it right there. Make sure you subscribe to watch the rest of it, and I will keep doing videos for you. Yeah, so that's basically roughly what I do, so goodbye.